Your girlfriend will hate Bird Dog's khaki shorts. She'll say the llamas on their website look like a preschooler's birthday party invite, not an apparel company. She'll say the sexual innuendos in their newsletters are meant for 7th graders, not grown men like you. She might even tell you that naming one of the products, quote, Christopher Columbus is borderline offensive. But as soon as you feel their soft inner liner and see how great their stretch material makes you look, you'll never want to take them off. Go to birddogs.com/radio to find out for yourself. They'll even throw in a free tumbler. That's birddogs.com/radio.
Life comes with a lot of decisions, and it can be hard to know the right path sometimes. A therapist can help you map out what you really want, so you trust yourself to make great choices and feel excited about the future. BetterHelp offers convenient professional online therapy on your schedule, however you want it, by phone, chat, or video call. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Sports Daily here on KFH. Thanks for listening, tuning in. If you're on the app or listening to us locally here over the air, or watching our video stream on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, we appreciate it. No matter how you take in the show, joining us now on the IHOP hotline, we have Zach Bush, the head coach of the Aftershocks, the Wichita State alumni team, getting ready for what we hope is another TBT run here. Zach, how are you, man?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're good. We're ready. Look, last week I contend is the slowest week on the sports calendar, Major League Baseball All-Star Week. And it was just the perfect timing then for TBT to come in right after that and feed us sports fans a little bit. I know you guys are practicing later today. Is that practice number 1, or have you guys had a chance to practice yet?
Yeah, so this will be practice number 3 here today. And we'll actually have a little closed-door scrimmage against one of the other teams that's in the second regional that we're hosting here in Wichita. And so we've had one full one with everybody. We had some flight delays because, of course, we did. If you fly through Chicago, there's probably a 90% chance you're going to get delayed. So we had 2 of the guys who are a little day late getting in. But, we've got everybody in now, which is a huge just relief for me. And then it's been good having the guys getting together and figuring each other's games out again and kind of getting cohesive.
Yeah, speaking of that cohesiveness, how do you feel, Zach, overall about the roster makeup this year? Of course, notable names like Connor Frankamp and Marcus McDuffie and Samaje Haynes-Jones, Trey Wade, some others on that team. How do you feel like these guys are coming in, with just a couple of practices under their belts and working together for that common goal?
Yeah, I think just being that I'm a coach, I'm a high school basketball coach, and I've done the GA thing in college. I think I have the typical gene of a coach where you're constantly in perfectionist mode, so nothing ever looks good in my mind. I think we're like I'm not happy with anything, and then our other guys, Clevin Hanna and Garrett Stutzel, told me to take a breath and relax and that we're okay. And I thought we looked awful last year, and I think we won our first game by about 35. So I'm hoping it'll be the same kind of story. But the guys always gel quickly. It kind of puts me at ease when you have a Connor Frankamp and a Marcus McDuffie, Darrell Willis, all those guys who have played critical roles in this before. And when you have, I think, veteran leadership and guys who have played in TBT multiple times, it gives you a little bit more of an advantage when you play teams who are a little bit newer and younger. There's just something about TBT where you need a little bit of experience. You don't typically see a first-year team come in and just run the table or make, typically deep runs. So we've definitely got that on our side.
It's interesting. Let's talk about the roster for a second. Those names you mentioned have now become staples of what has become consistently in one of the better teams in the TBT with the Aftershocks, which has been so much fun. And then there's some new names. There's some names we don't know, right? Obviously. When we see new names to this team that are recent names to the Shockers that feel like they probably have a lot left in the tank, I'm intrigued by Altariq Gilbert. I'm intrigued by Asborn Midgard. I'm intrigued by Trey Wade. How big a role do you think some of the newer guys, when you have as much experience as you do, are going to play for you guys?
Yeah, we've definitely got, opportunities for those guys. I guess we probably had more new faces than I really realized until they all showed up, but that is certainly something that they have on their side is the youth, that energy, their athleticism. We're not I wouldn't say an old team, but we've got a nice mix of experience. And then these new guys, I think, just bring a wave of energy. Trey Wade is a guy who just impacts the game in multiple ways. He defends, and you see it in practice. You're like, gosh, man, he gets his hands on a lot of balls defensively, just little things that contribute to winning. And the way he's in gaps, talking defensively, he had a beautiful play yesterday where he, slips a ball screen, makes a beautiful post-entry pass, and a lot of guys would just stand and wait for the ball in TBT. It's summer, they don't want to move. Immediately has a great backdoor cut, end up getting a basket out of it. Then Al Tariq is a guy who, has got the ball on a string, can handle it, create for others. Asborn, such a big body and has just continued to get better, can rim protect, can sit in deep in the paint. So we're really excited. Obviously, we kind of see what's going on in the game and we go with the hot hand and who's contributing in what way. But we didn't just bring those guys here to sit and watch. We need those guys to be great for us to continue to make another deep run this year.
Looking at the other teams that are in the regional in Wichita, a lot of conversations about, you've got the Wichita State team, obviously. You've got the KU alumni team. You've got the K-State alumni team, Missouri, Arkansas. Like, it's just definitely going to be, all of these local or regional teams that are coming in, invading Koch Arena. I know that you guys are obviously, and I'm sure from your point of view, like locked in on your common goal and your purpose and only working on what you guys can control. But from your perspective, what does that mean to you, or have you thought at all about the fact that you've got all of these other alumni teams coming in that are fairly local or regional to Wichita and all playing in one place?
Yeah, I think it's really important just for, the draw of what brings people wanting to come to games every year. Obviously, we're the, main show here in town, but, just in the state of Kansas, you've got the other two programs who are obviously storied and just unbelievable, and the names that they have on those rosters, these are fan favorite guys. So it's not like you just come to an Aftershocks game and then that's kind of it. It's fizzled out. There's great names even outside of the regional teams. If you look at some of these rosters, you'll recognize names of guys and like, oh man, yeah, I remember him. Like, haven't seen him in a few years. So I think that part is fun for fans. And, like you mentioned, the regional aspect of in Arkansas, it's only 5 hours from Wichita. These are, programs that fans can, kind of get excited about. And it's just fun basketball. It's not like you've only got the Wichita State alumni guys and then a bunch of teams, you've never heard of. At least if you don't remember names, you at least, kind of, know the program that they've come from and can kind of see that tie in. So I think that's a lot of fun for fans, and, a potential Missouri KU second round matchup would be obviously awesome with the border showdown ending here, the last 10 years, but it's going to be pretty cool. I think fans can be obviously super excited about us and then excited just to watch good basketball in general.
Zach Bush, head coach of the Aftershocks, talking to us. They are looking to continue their run, make that final step this year to try and take home the $1 million prize. Single elimination, no room for errors. The Elam ending, which I contend should be implemented at all levels of basketball. I just love it. You talk about players that fans can get excited about. I don't like KU's team this year, the Mass Street team, which is in another regional, but that, if you look at that roster, this is one that I think would really surprise people. The Morris twins are coaching, but man, there's names on there: Tyshawn Taylor, Keith Langford, Thomas Robinson of the old group, and then some of the younger guys are in there, and Dedrick Lawson and Jamari Traylor. Like, they got some guys. Mario Chalmers is on this team. Like, what in the world? That is an awesome part of this tournament. I know that's the opposition, but man, you're a state of Kansas guy. Like, that's pretty dang cool.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up, probably more of a KU fan. I was born in Topeka, and we moved to Wichita when I was 5, and I still loved Wichita State basketball. I thought the world of Jamar Howard and, some of these guys, but I also was a big KU fan. But at the same time, loving basketball, like, I loved watching Jacob Pullen and some of these K-State guys, and can remember how great they were, Marcus Foster. So, yeah, just seeing those names again, it's kind of surreal, and I can just think back to how excited I would have been about this, as a kid, seeing all these different names be able to come back. They've added Brandon Rush, like you said, Mario Chalmers. There's names here that are KU legends. So, I mean, that's pretty special, whether you're a fan or not, to have guys that have played, in the type of leagues and and the NBA like these guys have, that's pretty special to have all of that here in Wichita, playing in a money tournament where everybody's laying it on the line. It's pretty special. That doesn't really happen a whole lot, and we hope fans obviously appreciate that, and we think they will. We're pretty happy with where we've seen the ticket sales numbers. I think fans are excited about K-State, KU, us, Arkansas team, like we mentioned. It's going to be a fun tournament for sure.
Zach, we know historically how Shocker fans show out to Koch Arena for anything related to Shocker basketball, whether it's the regular season, the postseason, the TBT, whatever it is. When you are coaching this team and you are inside Koch Arena and you're seeing the Shocker faithful, what does that mean to you, knowing your history with the program and then now being a part of the TBT, just knowing how this fan base shows up and shows out for anything related to Shocker basketball?
Yeah, I mean, not to be corny, but it's hard to, kind of put it in words. I think the program means so much to me, and I know it means so much to the guys. So when I've said it before, when you leave, when you graduate, there's kind of a finality to it. You kind of have to come to terms with never really going to be out there on the floor again. And so to be back out there with the guys who, that some of these guys that I was teammates with, it means a lot. And, those fans, it wouldn't be what it is without them. It would not feel nearly the same. And that's part of the reason some of these guys want to keep coming back and playing. Like Altrique Gilbert's talked about, my only year here was coming off of COVID where the fans couldn't even be in the arena. So a big chunk of why guys choose this place, some of them haven't gotten to experience that. So I know they're, over the moon to get to be back here and do that. And then even the other side to try to bridge the gap with, the new coaching staff and the new players. The Wichita State program is big for us. We want to create that brotherhood and want, former players to know they're welcome to come back. And we want to be connected to Coach Mills. And then obviously having the Final Four reunion, we're having that here kind of coincide at the same time. So getting to have Fred back and Clee back and, Ron and Takel Cotton just sitting right there behind the bench, it's pretty special memories. Not many people get to experience that over again. And from a brotherhood aspect, it's kind of second to none.
So the reunion's happening. That's going to be a blast. It's separate from the event, but you expect all those guys to be. Are they going to try to be at all the games this first week? Do you know that part yet?
Yeah, obviously some of them, have different schedules. Obviously, I think Fred's a busy man these days, getting the family moved down to Houston and stuff. But I think majority of those guys will be here for Friday night's game. Some will be here Thursday, but we have the reunion dinner for the team on Saturday night. So it just kind of it's a mix throughout the group, but we're just excited to have them back here together. And a few of them, I definitely wish we could get in an Aftershocks jersey. Not quite sure it'd be legal, but I think if I could have Fred VanVleet run the one for us, I'd feel pretty confident, I'd say.
You think Connor would be okay stepping to the side a little bit and playing the two?
I know Connor loves playing the two way more than the one, so he would thank me. I know he loves Fred and Fred's game, so I think he'd be okay with Fred getting into some ball screen actions and finding him for some catch and shoots.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be fine. A couple more, and you took the words out of my mouth on that. So Shocker fans, that's a part of this too. If you're looking for a reason to come to the game, just those guys will be around this weekend. I do want to ask you real quick about Purple and Black. So they're in your regional. It's sort of like a mix. Like you guys are the experienced group by far now of the three alumni teams. KU's going to be, even though the Morris twins have experience, I learned the other day, they've actually coached a team in this before, but that's a lot of new faces. But Purple and Black's got a little consistency now going, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Aftershocks, early on, and then you guys have gotten a little bit better each year. They returned a lot of guys. They have a little star power. Does Purple and Black looking, like a pretty good team to you, that 2 seed fitting for them, you think?
Absolutely. They certainly have our attention. We know that that's a potential third-round matchup, and we would obviously love to see that and get to play that game and Coke in front of the fans. They're certainly someone we don't take lightly, and like you said, they kind of remind me of us. They had some awesome moments last year and felt like, kind of took some steps forward, and then they put together another really good roster. And then I get a call from Jordan Enriquez, who's coaching them last week, and he's talking about they've already started, their training camp and stuff, and they're locked in and ready to go. So I know that they're taking it seriously, and it's addictive. It really is. If you get guys in this who want to be back playing with their teammates, especially I think from an alumni aspect, it's addictive. They heard the roar of the crowd last year. Jacob Pullen just hits an awesome game winner, and there's something that just does inside of you. It feeds, that want to play in this. That's happened for our guys, obviously, over the last few years. We've had such exciting finishes where, like you said, the Elam ending just creates a whole new dynamic in the game. So you have these game-winning, memorable moments. Like people who've been will remember, Connor hitting the big three a couple years ago, and last year us winning, Darrell Willis hitting the bucket. So I think that helps with the K-State group. They've had a little bit of success now, and then it's just going to continue. They've got a good group. They take it seriously, and a dude like Marcus Foster, who's unbelievable and playing at a really high pro level, is going to be dangerous for them.
I mean, for people that don't know the Elam ending, just imagine a scenario where literally every game ends on a game-ending shot. I mean, that's what the Elam ending is. Okay, Zach, so we've got Mass Street playing tomorrow night. So they play at 8. There's 2 different regionals happening for folks at home. So you've got the Mass Street Regional and the Aftershocks Regional. So 2 different groups of 8. The first one, which is the Mass Street, they'll play at 8. And then on Thursday, you guys and the purple and black team will play. They'll play at 6. You guys play at 8. And then you make your way through the tournament. So for people at home, the opportunity to win the regional could potentially go through K-State for the Aftershocks, and then the potential to win the super regional, which will also be in Wichita. And if we get to that point, we'll get you back in here, Zach. But that would potentially be against Mass Street next week. It's all on the line. This setup is great. I mean, I don't know about you. I think this has a chance to be the best one of these we've seen so far. I think the rosters are the best they've ever been, and obviously when you get all 3 teams in there, that takes care of itself, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we've already obviously touched on it here, but just, special names. I think this is the best it's ever been, and there's an excitement level, I think, that we haven't kind of felt since that first year in 2019. And obviously the dream is to play K-State and to play KU, so we're pulling for those guys. I mean, until we play them, we want them to do well. And I just can't say how much the guys are, how excited they are to be back here and to get some of these potential matchups and just a special summer. I know you guys out there listening, there's not that much going on right now. You don't want to start thinking about kids back in school, all that. Come out, have a great time. It's unbelievable. It's exciting. There's really nothing like it.
All right. There's Zach Bush, head coach of the Aftershocks. We'll catch up with them at practice later today. We'll see the TBT team. We'll see the Mass Street team at practice today. We got TBT last night, so we'll get our looks on those. We'll have those for 12 News for you later today. Zach, work them hard. Don't let up on them at all.
Always. You know me.
I do. All right. There goes Zach Bush. We appreciate it. Let's talk again soon as you guys make your way through this. That tournament begins tomorrow night. You can still get your tickets. Plenty of time. Zach, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
There goes Zach Bush. We'll come right back. We'll do a little giveaway when we return. Get you set up. We'll jump back into this running back dynamic in the NFL. Man, I'm excited about the TBT, Tommy. I can't wait for it. I do. I'm not just saying. I think this will be the best, potentially, right? If teams win, this could be the best one we've seen.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for all the teams converging to Coke Arena. Man, it's going to be incredible.
869-1240 is that IHOP hotline. It's open back up. We'll be back with more Sports Daily right after this.